Yeah, I would like to welcome to the show. It gives me great pleasure. Long-time fan of this band. I got Dan from the band Atreyu. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Like I said just then, and before we started, long-time fan of the band. We're talking back in it's the early 2000s is all I can kind of fathom from it. But your first couple of albums, Lip Gloss and Black. I know the tracks. Those were the tracks. The album with Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses.
Yeah.
And The Curse as well.
Yeah.
Two fantastic albums back then. And since then I got your is it the concept something of the damned?
Congregation of the Damned.
Congregation of the Damned. So I kept thinking Conception. I've not got anything written down here. So I was just like looking at it thinking, did I write it down? No, I didn't. But yeah, no, just sort of going back to then, I saw you guys play London Astoria 2. I think it was you. I think Bullet for My Valentine were on that show. If you can remember, you've done thousands of shows since.
Yeah, they were opening for us on that show. That was a long time ago.
Crazy, isn't it? And Astoria again, the big one with Norma Jean, I think it was. Sort of going back to my sort of hardcore days.
Oh yeah, it's about 2005. That was.
Yeah, around about. Yeah, must have been around about then. I was a bit more agile back then and a bit more pit worthy. Not so much. But no, just like when I got this opportunity, I was like, fuck, yes, because a band that had so much impact on me back then, and I've been listening to your new offering, which is out on the 4th of June, and it's called Baptize. For those that are wondering, but yeah, no, I've just been listening to that. The label were nice enough to send me a stream of the album, and I've just had it on repeat. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And I just we'll get onto that in a moment, but I just just sort of like leading up to this album, you had a couple of singles that came out. You had, I think it was Warrior, I've got them written down here, Catastrophe, Save Us, and was it Underrated as well was another one you did.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of teased me for the last couple of months coming up to this. I've been sent them by Spine Farm, who you're with now, and I just, what have you guys kind of been up to since? Just before we get onto the album itself, what have you been up to since the last album? In fact,
I guess we started working on this album actually back in 2019.
Okay.
We were trying to get things going and whatnot at the time, and we got about halfway through the album, got most of it, or even a little bit more than that. We got like a good amount of it done, and then COVID hit, and then it was like, all right, pause button.
Yep.
I guess we'll just we'll pause for a little bit here and try to see what we can do. When things kind of make more sense. So we kind of, it ended up kind of stretching the process out, and I think all of us just as individuals too, just even outside of the band, all had to kind of like figure ourselves out for a second because we weren't able to work or do anything. I mean, myself, I own a merchandising or several merchandising style companies outside of being in the band that make merch for bands and things of the such. And we basically turned all our attentions to, because everything shut down, we turned all our attentions to making masks. And because we do a lot of importing from overseas, in China especially, or even in Mexico and stuff like that, importing different types of products for people. Since we had that ability, we're like, maybe we turn our attention to importing gloves and hand sanitizers and masks, or just whatever we could get over here to help keep our business going, but also help people at the same time. It was a win-win situation for us. It was a combination of doing that and then trying to sneak into the studio when we could and mask up and kind of spread out a little bit so things weren't, we were being compliant with, all the rules and whatnot, and not putting ourselves or anybody else in any danger. And just kind of chipped away at the record that way, and even tried to, slow down the process of actually releasing it, because, we didn't want to, we want to, like any band, you ideally want to put a record out when you're on tour, because that's when you have the most eyes on you. It's the most advantageous time to be releasing a record. With that being said, there's not really any solid time, at least that point in time, or in the past few months, where we're like, we know we're going to be playing shows. We're like, well, we can't really bank on just waiting forever. So like, let's just put this thing out and party, we'll figure it out later. Yeah, so here we are.
No, so I mean, it's good. I was going to ask you what you're up to during like the COVID thing, because obviously over in the States, obviously different from state to state, how it was dealt with and everything, from what I gather.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends over there. I used to live over there, not your side of the States, on the East Coast. And yeah, no, I was just like, that's really good. Sort of like, just sort of on your feet, kind of like, obviously helping others with like personal protection equipment and stuff like that, the sanitizer, the masks, and all that. And that's awesome, getting and utilizing what you've got, and obviously keeping afloat as well, which is important, because I've known I've seen a lot of bands disappear. I've seen a lot of companies, unfortunately, disappear. Obviously the festival circuit is kind of messed up over here at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's good to sort of see like some things are working for us, especially like yourselves. You've got like this business that you've set up around Atreyu as such, and it's kind of, it's nice to know something's working for people, because a lot of things.
Yeah.
But how have you found it? So you're over on the West Coast, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm actually in Corona, California, which is just outside of Orange County.
Okay. And how's it been over there, like that side of the world, like for you guys?
It's not too bad. I mean, like obviously at first it was kind of chaotic. Everybody was freaking out because they didn't really know what was going on, and everybody was scrambling for toilet paper, and all the shelves were just cleared out of so many different things. We were like, what is everybody doing? Like, slow down here. Like, like everybody thought it was gonna be like martial law, and we're gonna be like held at gunpoint in our houses or something like that. Not allowed to leave, like some crazy movie or something. So everybody just started going nuts. And then I think as time started to pass by and people started getting more comfortable and realizing it wasn't as crazy, at least in that sense, as they thought, things kind of normalized, which is good, because there's a lot of people sitting on a whole way too many piles of toilet paper right now that they probably wish they didn't buy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, aside from that, I mean, everyone you can just feel is very eager to get back to normality as quickly as possible. So there's as much, kind of finding happy mediums as people can come up with, like, whether it be restaurants doing outdoor dining, or, whatever, makes sense to keep a restaurant open. It's the whole thing, all of this is super strange. The whole thing is so strange, and how all this unfolds, and the different rules, and like where the lines are drawn of like what's okay and what's not okay. And out here, I don't know, maybe I don't know if you get it in the UK at all as well, but you just get some people out here that just don't give a fuck, and they'll just roll into places with no mask, whatever. And like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't want to wear a mask either, but like just trying to be respectful, like it's just, if somebody wants to run their business where they want that in there, then, so you see a lot of, it's a little bit like it's the Wild West out where I live a little bit, as opposed to some other places. People are a little bit more, compliant.
Yes. Yeah. No, we get a few people here that aren't still aren't now happy wearing masks at all, on that front. And I deal with a few people here and there in my day job, just to kind of like sort of, I come up against that quite a lot, and
Yeah,
try and make a cut, like, try and make it as comfortable as for people as possible, and offer them different, solutions and what we do. But yeah, some people
sure.
point blank refuse. But no, I'm very eager to get back to some kind of like normality myself. Just sort of, I mean, it's not going to be normal, but I've had my vaccination. I'm quite fortunate on that front. I've had both jabs on the one that I got, and I feel more confident now to go out and stuff like that. So, it does give you that kind of effect, as well as obviously hopefully protecting you from said. But it gives you a bit more like confidence in going out, and hopefully, that will continue, and we'll be able to get at least some live shows. I mean, that's one thing, amongst 100 other things that people want to come back. Um, is, 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 for myself, I DJ nightclubs, and that hasn't happened for well over a year now. So I'm
Yeah.
waiting for those rock clubs to come back open and get out to spin some tunes and stuff. But like during like for myself during that lockdown bit, like especially as a sort of creative sort of soul on that front, obviously I've got this like show that I've got here, the podcast, but I've also been live streaming. Have you guys been tempted to do anything along those lines, or have you done anything along those lines?
We did 2 live streams. Like kind of just like they're like a week or 2 apart or something like that. A few months ago, and it's cool. It was just something especially with the uncertainty of what the future was like, of being able to play a show sooner or later. It was just like, all right, like this is the only way to get ourselves out there and try to make a couple bucks at the same time, and keep ourselves afloat. We're like, let's do it, and it came out really good. I mean, it was our first like kind of presentation officially of our band with our newest lineup. So for us, like, we wanted to have a big look with the whole thing, and have all the kinds of production and just make it just a wild experience. But it was cool. We did 2 sets. We did one that was kind of like the quote unquote like greatest hits kind of thing, and we did another one where we played our album Lead Sails Paper Anchor from front to back, which we've never done before. So that was the first time ever getting to do something like that. It was really neat.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Cool. I unfortunately I missed those, so I'm gonna have to go and try and find some footage somewhere. But yeah, no, let's talk about this new album, because I know I teased it a bit earlier. But let's talk about Baptize. First off, I mean, a lot of your albums, they have kind of like stories or themes running through them. What's your kind of what's your story with this one, really?
This one, I mean, the name Baptize came because we've had a parting of ways with our lead singer Alex during the process of doing this album, before it had been named or anything. So when it came time to name the album, when it was the 4 of us essentially, we're like, all right, like, well, what do we want to do here? Like, this kind of feels like a new chapter now in our career. This is like a whole new thing for us. So it feels like almost a cleansing, almost like a fresh start, like a rebirth. So like it's like being baptized or something, just having this fresh, I don't know, just kind of like a fresh start to things. So with that being said, I guess there's a lot of kind of self-reflecting songs on the album, whether it be like songs like Dead Weight. Dead Weight's kind of just about yourself feeling like you're dead weight and you're not really bringing enough to the table, which a lot of people feel that, or even Underrated, a song about just kind of feeling like you work really hard and you do so much and you're not really getting appreciated as much as you would hope you would, which stuff like that, and even like a song like you can go direction even like a song like Stay. That one's actually kind of a bit of a heart wrencher if you know the story behind it. It's pretty dark, but that's kind of a really powerful song about losing a loved one in a really kind of sad way.
Yeah, I mean, I love Dead Weight. That was one of the tracks I've got written down here as one of the ones. I love the singles you guys released, but Dead Weight I really loved. Like, it's up there with one of my favorite tracks off the album.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if it was just sort of because I related to it so much or anything like that, but it really struck me. Like, like when that track comes on, it's like track 6 or 7, I think it is, and it was yeah, no, I love it. Love that track. You've also got some guests on the album as well. A little chat, because you released the track with Travis Barker on there, and you've got I don't know if you've released who else you're going to have on there yet or anything like that, but if you talk about those.
Yeah.
I don't know if they, like I said, I don't know if it's common knowledge yet who you've got on there, but
yeah, it's out there. So yeah, we have 3 guests on this particular album. One being Travis Barker, who plays on the bridge of our song Warrior. That came about through John Feldman, our producer, who works a lot with Travis Barker and the Blink-182 guys doing, he did the last couple records with them. And if you when you work with John Feldman, his studios are always built into his house. So you hang out at his house and you record there, and he has just this like just rotating door of extremely talented people just constantly coming in and out. You could be in the middle of a session of like, hey guys, we're going to take an hour break at 7 o'clock because Travis Barker's coming in to track something or whatever. And we're like, all right, we'll take dinner break around then or whatever. And it's just stuff like that all the time. It's really interesting. It's really inspiring, even just being around all these people that are so talented. And sometimes it gets you involved. I mean, Machine Gun Kelly came in one time and wanted to track a song for like a Rage Against the Machine song. And our other guitar player, Travis, just because he was there, they're like, hey, we need a guitar player. You want to track this real quick? He was like, sure. So he had to just go figure the song out real quick and track it. And I don't even know if he got credited for that song or anything, but if you ever hear the Machine Gun Kelly version of some Rage Against the Machine song, I can't remember which one it is, but Travis is playing guitar on it. So, that little side story. But so because Travis Barker lives in the same neighborhood as John Feldman, he lives like down the street or something. He's just over there all the time. So it was like a very convenient person to try to get our hands on at the time. And so we're like, hey John, like, what do you think Travis's thoughts on maybe playing on one of our songs? He's kind of over here all the time anyways, like it wouldn't be too out of his way or nothing. And so we talked to him, and he was sent him the song, and he was interested. So we had him come down, and we had Brandon kind of sat with him, since Brandon played all the drums on the album. He kind of sat with them and went through what we were looking to do on the bridge, which was basically, we want that whole song. The feel of it is supposed to be something you hear at like a football game, or like a sporting event. It's supposed to be just a huge kind of anthem, stadium, arena song. So having the bridge just be the feel of like a live band, not necessarily a live band like a rock band or something like that, but like a live sports, when you go to like a sporting event and the band comes out and they all have the drums and the whole kind of thing going on. We wanted to do that sort of huge feel for the bridge. And Travis, because he's obviously most times when you have Travis Barker play on your album, he just plays, like, he'll play the entire song. But we're like, we want to do something different. We want something just unique from him. And that's something that in his back pocket that people know about him, but he doesn't showcase as much, is that he's got this incredible kind of like snare drum line skills where he can do all these flippy drum tricks and with his sticks and stuff. I mean, he's really talented in so many ways. And it was like, man, like, let's get you to do that all over, that to get that feel of that live band, that live kind of sports field band, halftime band or whatever. So he came to do that and crushed it. As far as the other two, we have Matt Heaphy from the band Trivium. He is singing on a song called Oblivion, which working with him was interesting because he's in Florida and we're in California. He's on the other side of the country. So what we did is we tracked the song entirely. We've written it already and knew what we wanted. It was just a matter of getting him on it. So we sent him the track, with the vocals and a tape without the vocals, so he could hear what we were doing, and just kind of had him do his Matt Heaphy thing over it. And he's got such a signature voice, and he's so good at what he does. And like, when you have somebody like that, just getting to hear like a voice like that doing something on an Atreyu song is it's just super cool. It's really fun. It's just an experience like you don't even ever think about being able to have until you get the opportunity, and you're like, holy crap, like this is so cool. So yeah, the song Oblivion, like, he crushes it. And it's what's really interesting about it too is that it almost doesn't sound like Matt though at the same time. Like, he has this delivery that just sounds like this fresh delivery from him that you don't really hear in Trivium songs really. So it's if you're a Trivium fan, even if you're not an Atreyu fan, you're just a Trivium fan, it's definitely worth checking out just to hear how incredible Matt's performance is. Last but not least, Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach. He is singing on a song called Untouchable, which is another song that's basically about it's kind of like an arena stadium, sports thing again. Both that song and Warrior were written with the intentions of like, we want this to be played in stadiums at sports, so they have that feel. Time Is Now is kind of a similar song. We did the same thing on our last record. It has that kind of big sports game feel. So that this particular song, it's got this almost kind of hip hoppy cadence to the verses, just the way it's delivered. And again, this was a song where we recorded the whole thing. We actually had Jacoby come down to John Feldman's house and kind of go through it with him. And he's one of those people, like, you know, you just kind of point him in there, you know, you give him a sniff and you take him off his leash and he just fucking runs, you know, and like he kills it, you know, he goes 200%. You like, he's so professional. You can just tell he's done this a million times. So when he goes in, it's like, you know, he just knows to be like, all right, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of different takes on each part that have all different vibes to them. Give us little fluff parts to kind of sprinkle around the songs, you know, like oohs and yahs and ha's and yells and whatever's. And yeah, it's just like, man, now we got all this good stuff. We can kind of put, you know, layer stuff in where it feels right. And, you know, the song already had an incredible energy to it. And then we added him in there and it just took it from a 10 to like a 12. Like, he's just so good. And yeah, it was really exciting to get to hear his voice on an Atreyu song. It's just wild.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, I've heard the same from other people about Jacoby. The way he just comes in, he can just like rock completely. I've had him. I think I spoke to Nothing More. I think they had him on for a verse on one of their tracks. I think a single release, and one of the bands from here, Skindred, in fact, they had him about a while ago. And yeah, no, they just said the same thing. It was just like, came in, he knew exactly, you know, knows what to do. And I love the fact with the Travis Barker thing, you just had him on there for like, and that's very kind of like, so it's kind of like what like hip hop guys do, pop music. They have that kind of like, you know, have a guy come on or someone, you know, got DJ Khaled shouts out their name on the stuff and that.
Yeah.
Hype. But you know, that's really cool. I love that. It's just that one bit, because normally you expect it for the whole song. But I didn't know it was just that, like that part of the song. But no, it's that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. It's a little different.
A little different, yeah. No, it's really cool. It's really cool. And like I said, I'm loving the album. And again, for everyone listening, June 4th, go listen, go get it, go stream it, go buy it. I'm sure you're gonna have all kind of physical formats and everything as well.
Yeah, vinyls and all the things. Actually, you can pre-order it right now if you go to the Atreyu merch site, atreyumerch.com, and or even atreyuofficial.com. You can get to it. And yeah, we're doing all different colorways, and there's all kinds of cool merch to go along with it. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Fantastic, excellent. Well, I'm yeah. Well, I've already heard it. I love it. So looking forward to it. But no, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys live. Hopefully, once things open up, probably 2022. I think is probably going to be more on that front. But hope to see you guys over here again. Like I said, I saw you guys back in the day, and I'd love to see it again. See how you guys have evolved over the years and everything. Definitely on when it comes to your albums and stuff, there is definitely an evolution from those early ones, and yeah, it's all good on that front. I'm loving it. I've got a couple of questions left for you though, if that's all right.
Sure. Yeah.
What I like, these are sort of my sort of standard questions, if you will, that I kind of like to end on. But what I'd like to know is everyone's got their kind of like top 10 albums. So I'm not going to ask you about those, but what I want to find out are you're kind of like outside of that top 10, like if you like, because a lot of people have basically they have a lot of trouble putting it down to just 10. What are your if you could pick like 3 honorable mentions. So outside of that top 10, you've picked your top 10, you've got your like classic albums in there and everything, but then you go, oh shit, that one's got to be in there as well. And then that one, what if you could pick like, I don't know, 2 or 3, what would those be?
Oh man. Probably I can't remember the name of it, but it's Mariachi El Bronx. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mariachi El Bronx.
Yes. Yeah.
And if I had to pick, I just guess the first record, if I had to just pick one of them.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it all. You'd have to look it up. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But if you've never heard of Mariachi El Bronx, maybe you've heard of The Bronx. Not you in particular, just whoever's listening. But Mariachi El Bronx is basically members of the Bronx who just added a couple other members and started a mariachi band where they just play 100% mariachi music, but it's all sang in English with sprinkles of Spanish in there. But it is incredible. I mean, it is so beautifully orchestrated. Like, I was blown away the first time I heard it, because we've known the guys from the Bronx for a very long time. We've toured with them since, I think first tour we did with them was them and the U's in 2004 and in the States. So for a little while, we've known those dudes, and we just always known them as like this kind of like rock punk band, you know, that just like to party and we're just fun, cool, funny dudes, you know. And then when all of a sudden I heard the Mariachi El Bronx stuff, I was like, are you kidding me? This is those guys? Like they orchestrated this? This is absolutely beautiful. Like I am so blown away. So like they're one of my favorite bands because like I mean I hate to say it, but I enjoy JL Bronx more than the Bronx itself. Like I love it. It's so good. It's very impressive. So that's definitely one of them. I guess another one I'd go with let's go with Toots and the Maytals.
Okay.
Maybe Funky Kingston, like one of the earlier records. I that if Toots and the Maytals, Toots himself, he's one of the God rest his soul or whatever, that poor guy passed away from COVID not too long ago, but he's one of those just incredible reggae artists that just, I love reggae. I'm a huge fan of reggae, and I'd say right underneath Bob Marley, you kind of have Toots. Like I feel like he's kind of the next dude in line as far as like one of just the greats, one of the classic greats that just had a great vibe. And I actually had the pleasure of seeing him at this small little tiny bar in I think it was Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, something like that, out this way, like about 5-6 years ago. Where I literally there was like, I mean, there's maybe 40 people there, and I was standing in the very front. He was right in front of me the whole time, and his sunglasses, he kept putting them on his head, and they kept falling down his face, and you could see how stoned he was, and like he even gave me the knuckles at one point in time. Like I was like, this is the fucking like, why is nobody else doing this with me right now? This is fucking Toots. Like this is like one of the greatest reggae artists of all time. Like nobody was appreciating it as much as I was. It was mind blowing. But so Toots and the Maytals, that'd be number 2. And what's a third one? What do I listen to a lot? I don't know. Lately, I'm gonna keep going reggae. I'm gonna go with the first Revolution album.
Okay.
There's a band called Revolution. They're from out this way. If maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't, but they're an incredible reggae band. They're a very West Coast style reggae band. There's this kind of there's this style that you get from the West Coast, whether it be like it'd be like the Dirty Heads or Iration, Revolution. All the bands of that kind of sort have this just kind of sound. Even it's kind of like Sublime, it's kind of, or Slightly Stupid, bands like that. It's kind of in line with all that world. I like to call it white boy reggae because it's like it's a bunch of white kids, from the West Coast playing reggae. Not entirely white guys, but mostly white guys. So it's got this different flavor to it,
Yeah.
But it's really good. Revolution. Honestly, any of their records are really, really good. But the first few in particular have some like roots reggae music. If you ever check out the song Roots Reggae Music by them, like that's just a jam, man. Or Feeling All Right. I mean, it's great albums. Great band.
I'm definitely going to check this out. I mean, Mariachi Bronx, I've heard of and listened to, love it. Like just having that kind of complete parallel to the Bronx are compared to what they are, and
yeah,
fantastic. But the other two, I mean, I think I've heard Toots and the Melters before many years ago. But I'm going to go back and listen to those albums, and I'm going to check out Revolution as well because I don't think I've heard them.
Yeah, enjoy. Yeah, you'll like it.
Reggae now and again. And a bit of hip hop, rap, stuff like that as well. So just sort of, I like to sort of throw that all in. I'm a scratch DJ as well, so I like to do all that kind of stuff. So I've got like a collection of break beats and stuff like that that are of reggae's nature and stuff like that. And
you listen to Dirty Heads at all?
Yes.
Okay, I was saying because they're very like hip hop ish, reggae kind of thing going on. Really good at what they do.
Yeah, definitely another great actor. Yes, they're fantastic. So I'm gonna go listen to those. Thank you for that. That's great because it's normally heavy metal albums constantly. So this is a nice little detour.
Yeah,
that's all good. So yeah, finally, what are your hobbies away from music? So when you're not doing Atreyu or anything around the sort of like that side of things, what do you kind of do to kind of unwind or sort of that's totally separate from it?
Lately I've been building a lot of Legos. Actually, it's kind of a random thing, but it not just like just picking up piles of Legos and building them, but I like Lego ships in particular.
Okay.
Actually, here I'll just show you right here. You can see I have this kind of wild collection of Lego ships.
That's excellent.
Yeah, they're pretty wild. And I got this whole row of them up here.
Oh wow, quite a few of them. Nice.
Yeah, all kinds of Lego ships. Even this guy over here. This dude right there. Yeah, all kinds of Lego ships.
Excellent.
So yeah, just that, and I built a Disney castle. My wife loves Disney, so I built, it's like I think it's the Florida castle.
Okay.
Cinderella's castle, whatever. So I built that. That's like a almost 5,000 piece. It's huge. It's like 3 feet tall. Yeah, so building Legos is kind of random, but I kind of have to hit pause on. I'm just spending too much money on Legos lately. It's just kind of getting out of hand. And I'm running out of room on my shelves. I only have so much shelf space, so I gotta buy a bigger house or something, because can't get rid of the Legos.
Lego, and then you can have Lego within the Lego.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be tight, actually.
That's really cool. I've got a couple of friends who are builders on that front. One of them, they do like window displays for like shops and stuff. So they build the old big Boba Fett's and stuff like that for.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
And do that for Lego. And I've got another one who does like Lego art. And she's entered various sort of like art things and won awards. And she worked on the Lego movie, just sort of like the backgrounds of it and stuff like that. But yeah, no, just I've got a few friends that very much into that, and some that they've never worked directly for Lego. That seems to be very difficult to get.
Oh, interesting.
There's plenty of like, work outside that, because obviously, they need things for need people for big projects and stuff. So but no, that's really cool. I like that. I'm into sort of like war game, like the miniature war gaming and stuff, so like Games Workshop and things like that. So I like that. Kind of like building stuff, and I would show you my stuff, but it's not in here, unfortunately. It's in the house.
No worries.
It's all good. No, cool. Well, Dan, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. I'm gonna let you go rest of your day, because I know you're a fair few hours behind me, so you got the whole day ahead of you, probably loads of interviews or something to do. So but no, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, big fan of the band. I'm loving the new album. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys back over here.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and taking the time to do this for us, or for me.
That's awesome. It's all good, man. It's my pleasure. You have a good rest of your day. All right.
Thank you. You too, man. Take it easy.
Thank you.